Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Hello everyone, my name is Nurulita. As one of the trainers in this training program, leadership is actions, not position. The main purpose of this training program is to understand what is vision in leadership perspective and what is leadership skill in terms of influence perspective. Before we go further, please give your expectation towards this training program in QR code that are given. You guys also can click the link below. I hope you guys can enjoy this video. For the learning objective of this program, at the end of this session, the participant will be able to explain at least 5 ways to become a visionary leader by answering the quiz given, and also explain at least 3 influencing skills in leadership by answering the quiz given during synchronous sessions in via Microsoft Teams. For the lesson outline, it involves the ice-breaking sessions, introductions to leadership, how to become a visionary leader, influencing skills in leadership, and also the last is conclusions and wrap up. The evolution of leadership. Leadership is no longer finding effective results through the command and control approach to executing a company strategy. Today, successful organizations are developing and emphasizing the importance of leadership at every level of the organization, where highly cross-functional teams effectively collaborate with efficiency and measure results. Leadership perspective. First, set the path and guides for organizations to move forward. Second is vision acts as an internal force propelling a leader to act. And the third is potential to be of force in the present other than to avoid problems that may arise in the future. Vision is a bond that unites individuals into a team with a mutual goal. And the last is vision is well demonstrated in the actions, beliefs, and values of organizational leaders. Leadership skill in terms of influence perspective. Leadership is identity, presence, and a part of who you are as a leader. Leaders accomplish the vast majority of their work through influence, not authority. Influencing is how leaders lead their employees by motivating or inspired in order to reach their employees' goals.
Hi all, I'm Coach Chu Hin here, one of your instructor for today's training program. So before getting started with our training module, I would like to introduce our lesson plan here. So with the title, How to Become a Visionary Leader, which very important for you to get a job in the future. So the objective for this particular training module is at the end of the training session, participant will be able to explain at least 5 ways to become a visionary leader by answering the quiz given later on. So what's the method used in this training module is actually through the lecturing and quiz. So about the time is roughly 15 to 20 minutes, and materials and equipment needed, of course you need a laptop with a Wi-Fi connection and Microsoft Teams for our live session later on, as well as you need a YouTube application obviously, and then you need a notebook and pen to record down the important notes. So as just now we have the procedure starting with the myself introduction. Next we will explain about the lesson plan, which I already done here. So the third thing I will be doing is through the explaining the ways to become a visionary leader. So at the end of the session, I will wrap up by stating the main points of the training. So after that, you will be given a quiz, and you should revert back by 17 June via Microsoft Teams called FSKPM HRD students 5 ways to become a visionary leader. Before we get into the core content of the training modules, here is the leader quiz for you all. So you all should answer these questions here by 21st of June, and the prize will be given starting from 28th June. Do this inside the Microsoft team called FSKPM HRD Students Visionary Leader Quiz. So we have moved to our core content of our training module today, which is the ways to become a visionary leader. So in total, there are 8 ways to be shared with you guys how to become a visionary leader. First of all is again in-depth industry knowledge, which means the business leader should know actually what is the short-term and long-term effect that could cause the impact to the business. So by saying this, actually the leaders can know what they can improve on to lead them in the future. Yeah. So the next item to be discussed here is invest time in cultivating a relationship. So everyone is actually occupied, so they might have no time to actually look at all the things happen in the world. So by having this good relationship with others, so it could help actually individuals to getting more information around them. Let's say friends or parents or bosses. So this could help them to obtain more information in order for them to have an overall picture that happening around them. So this is one of the way to help them to become a visionary leader as well. So the third way to become a visionary leader is connect disparate ideas, which means connect the different ideas, because we by combining the different ideas, actually we can get the different thoughts, different theories or different concepts to be used to invent new ideas or even a new formulation of a strategy, as example, to solve the issue which is unachievable in the past. So the next ways to become a visionary, we can reformulate the reality, which means sometimes we have to disconnect with the reality. So think on how we can actually how best we can solve certain issue, because sometimes it might be another way to solve this issue, or there is an effective way to solve certain problems which we sometimes need to disconnect ourselves from the reality. So the next one is test your vision repeatedly, because sometimes you might have the ideas on what's the short-term and long-term changes, but we dare not to share this with people, because we think our thinking is wrong sometimes. So one of the suggested way is after you have the confidence in telling the difference between the short and long-term changes, you could actually share this opinion with the specialist to actually to see what's these proposed ideas from you. Is it wrong, or is it good to be carried out in the next step? So this is what we say by test your vision repeatedly. So get the advice until this is proven successfully can be used by others or other company. Yeah. And the sixth of the ways to become a visionary leader is actually communicate energetically and courageously, because the communication is the main key of the visionary leader, because we have the vision, but if we did not communicate it to the people around us, so it is a vision that is hidden from others, so others could not help to move for this vision. So it is important for us to communicate this to the people around us with energetically and courageously. And always ask why not, because by asking why not, we can actually see the things from different perspective that could actually help us to form a new ideas on how we going to achieve in the future. So I think it is a good idea here always to challenge ourselves, move out from the status quo, asking why not, because we can see the things from other perspective that could help us to solve the issue more effectively. So the last way to become a visionary leader is look for the synergistic thinking opportunities, which is mean here is by looking at the ideas which is the same with your visionary. So by saying this, actually you can leverage their ideas to be combined with your ideas, keep on digging on the new data or new information that can be combined together to help you to form a more robust vision for yourself or for your company. So as mentioned in our lesson plan just now, one of the things is to summarize or to wrap up the gist of the training content today. So our main content training today is the ways to become a visionary leader. So just to wrap up, so the first point to become a visionary leader is the gain in-depth industry knowledge, which means we must understand what's happening in the sector or industry in a short term and long term in order for us to foresee the future and moving towards it. Yeah. So the second point is invest time in cultivating the relationship, because we not have all 24 hours to looking for the information. So somehow people like your friends or people like your parents can be useful sources to input on the knowledge. Yeah. So that without you knowing, actually the they are the one who giving the useful and valuable information towards your knowledge. So the relationship must be good in order for this knowledge deliver successfully to you. And the third one, for the point to become a visionary leader, is actually the connect the disparate ideas, which means the combining the different thoughts, different concepts, as well as different theories to form a new ways of new ways of doing things. For example, new realization. Yeah. And the fourth point here to become a visionary leader is to reformulate the reality, which means we the terms here, the key terms here is the disconnection, which means we disconnect ourselves from the reality, because we might have to rest and think, actually, is there any way to solve the issue more effectively? Yeah. So that's what it means by reformulate the reality, that link to the key terms of disconnection. So the fifth point is here to become a visionary leader is to test your vision repeatedly, because after we knowing the changes in short term and long term, we must dare enough to test this vision, and we need the specialist or expertise to advise us actually which is goes wrong and which is goes well for your vision. So by getting the feedback from them, actually we can always improvise the vision. Yeah. So the point number 6 here is communicate energetically and courageously, which means the key terms here is communication. So with good communication, actually we can deliver our vision easily to the people. So that's what it means by communicate energetically and courageously, which also means that we can always learn how to communicate with the people, as it is one of the critical leadership skill here. So point number 7 here to become a visionary leader is to always asking why not, because by asking why not, actually we can thinking to solve an issue in a more effective manner. So for example, we might thinking, oh, why not we solve this issue in another way? Because it could lead to a more positive result. So we always encourage ourselves to move out from the status quo, to think about why not solving the issue in another way around. Yeah. So point number 8 here, to become, which is the last point, to become a visionary leader, is look for synergistic thinking opportunities, which means we are leveraging on the ideas on the people who thinking in the same way as us, because by this we can digging into a more information or valuable knowledge that link to our vision here, which means we add on. Yeah, we add on towards our vision, the knowledge of our vision, so it could help us to come up with a robust vision. So what have you guys learned today? So appreciate you guys to share with us actually especially the ways to become a visionary leader inside the Microsoft team called FSKPM HRD students. 5 ways to become a visionary leaders, and prizes. There are prizes for you guys for the top 3 people who can answer who can give a most precise answer and fastest feedback, yeah, by 17th of June. So it's moving to our end of the session for this particular training modules called how to become a visionary leaders. So before that, I would like to thank you to all of you for your time spent with us. So before that, apart from the answers for the quizzes mentioned in this particular training modules, hopefully you guys can share with us too with your question and any comments for this particular training session via YouTube video comment, yeah, so we can answer your comment or answer to your question in our live session later on the 14th of June, yeah. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Nikki from MSc HRD, Cohort 30. So I am one of your facilitators in this training program. So my lesson for this section is Influencing Skill in Leadership. Let's look at our learning objective. At the end of the session, the participants will be able to explain at least 3 influencing skills in leadership by answering the quiz given during the synchronous session via Microsoft Teams. So our target audience is the final year student of HRD program from UNIMAS. The estimated time for this lesson is about 10 minutes. Okay, so we proceed to the procedure for this lesson. Firstly, the instructor will be self-introduction and also to explain the objective of this session to the participants. That is what I'm doing now. So next, we will move to introducing and explaining the influencing skill needed in a leadership. After that, at the end of the session, the instructor to conclude the topic by reinstating the main points. After that, a web-based quiz will be given to the participants as an evaluation of the lesson during the synchronous sessions in Microsoft Teams. Okay, let's start with our lesson. So, what is influencing skill in leadership? There can be no leadership without influence, because influencing is how leaders lead. So, what is influence? Influencing is about understanding yourself and the impacts you have on others. In other words, it means how to be an individual who can be self-influencing and motivate the other people. The ability to influence is necessary regardless of our roles, and it is a highly important skill for success. So, as a fresh graduate, what are the influencing skills that you should adopt, and how does the influencing skill in leadership affect your career at the workplace? Let's go into the influencing skill in leadership. Here I have provided mainly the 5 important skills that is needed in the influencing skill for a leader. Firstly, is about learning. Leaders invest in learning. Organizations value employees who can grow personally and professionally. Therefore, it is important to manage our self-development through continuous learning. As a fresh graduate in this 21st century, it is crucial for us to keep learning and grow our expertise and then get certified. In this competitive environment, cross-training often happens in workplace as it is necessary for us to learn more in obtaining the experience and the skills. The more we learn now, the more we can help later as our values are expanding alongside with the learning. The greater our competence, the more others will respect us in the future. The second point is listening. As a fresh graduate, do not assume that we know the answer to a question that we haven't asked. Always inform our perspective with the inputs of others. There are a lot of individuals who are more knowledgeable than what we think outside there. Active listening helps to improve working relationship at the workplace. It is important to understand people and situations before responding to it. Hence, being engaged in others when they are speaking and accurately hearing as well as retaining the essence of their thoughts are the important aspects that help to enhance the influencing skill among the leaders. As a fresh graduate, active listening is crucial for us to learn from the others, for us to understand the task better, and also to reduce the misunderstanding between each other. Moving forward to the next point, the third point is about engagement and connection. Interpersonal skill is a critical skill in the influence technique of socializing. So, as a leader with influencing skill, one shall be open to suggestion, being outgoing and conveying work in order to encourage the teamwork that will help individual team members feel less isolated and separate from the workplace. Therefore, employees will feel more engaged and have a sense of belonging to the workplace, which inspires them to work harder and enjoy what they do. As a fresh graduate, we can build our network by participating in various activities such as volunteerism and also involved in part-time jobs. These activities can help to widen our social network where they will meet different people from different backgrounds. Moving to the fourth point, which is trust building. As leaders often involve guiding people through risk and challenge, building and maintaining trust is essential for leading. An influencing leader has to be accountable for what decisions in order to establish a trustful connection with the others. With that, skill at conveying trust in others, as well as causing them to feel that one can also be trusted, is necessary to be possessed by an influencing leader. As a fresh graduate who newly joined in the workplace, it is crucial for us to admit when we don't know something. If we don't know the answer or we don't remember the solution, just say no. Not only will this allow us to gain the trust from the others, but it helps us to learn and grow but we won't be considered as a fake person who are wasting people's time with lies. Besides that, it is important to show a consistency in our job performance as well as our emotions. For instance, if we miss a deadline, people will instantly wonder if we are doing it again. If we make a habit of it, then people will learn that it is our normal behavior and will not trust us to follow through our commitments anymore. Last but not least, it comes to emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to identify and deal with our own emotions, the ability to recognize and understand the feeling of others, to adjust our behavior and also our responses to the others accordingly. Emotional intelligence is vital for everyone to build better relationships and make things run more smoothly. People with higher emotional intelligence can see things from other people's point of view. Hence, apart from interacting with different people from a range of backgrounds in order to enhance emotional intelligence, we can read news and articles from a wide range of resources and consider the different perspectives taken on the topics and why that might be. This aims to understand why people might think differently. So, for fresh graduates to undergo an interview process, normal questions on emotional intelligence during the recruitment process would be like, first, they would ask, how would you handle stressful work situation? Secondly, they will ask, tell us about when you have worked with a difficult person and how do you deal with them? Thirdly, they will be asking you about how would you persuade someone to do something that they don't want to do. So, as a fresh graduate, how are you going to answer this question? Last but not least, emotional intelligence could lead to self-awareness. For instance, if you realize that you are feeling stressed, you could take a step to release the cause or rearrange your day to leave the more complicated tasks for a better time. As such, emotional intelligence helps us to strengthen our inner resilience, which in turn could improve our productivity too. Okay, so that's all my 5 main points about the influencing skill in leadership. So, here are the questions to be pondered. Explain 3 influencing skills in leadership and why is it important to have influencing skill in leadership. I hope to hear your answer in our coming synchronous session in Microsoft Teams. At the same time, there will be a web-based quiz for you about this topic. See you soon in the synchronous session in Microsoft Teams. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye. Thank you.
Okay, so hi everyone, I am Wilson Sylvester here, also one of your trainers today. So we are at the conclusion part early. Basically, we are almost at the end of our training for leadership of under the title of leadership decision, not position. Alright, so to conclude, so the main lesson is the title of ways to become visionary leaders. There were 8 ways as discussed, which include the first one is gain in-depth industry knowledge, invest in cultivating relationships, connect disparate ideas, reformulate the reality, test your vision repeatedly, communicate energetically and courageously, always ask why not, and the last one is look for synergetic thinking opportunities. For another sub-lesson plan, which called influencing skills in leadership, there were 5 main influencing skills that shared with you guys previously, which are the first one is learning, listening, engagement and connection, trust building, and emotional intelligence. So for the learning is a set that we want to continuous learning help to enhance our competence and thus lead to respect from others. for listening. Listening is help to improve our working relationship at workplace, and also it will help to understand the people and situation before responding by engaging into the conversation in order to attend their thoughts and concerns. For the engage others and build connection, it is open to the suggestion, being outgoing and able to convey warmth to the others would encourage teamwork. And it also extends social networking to build connection with others. For trust building, build and maintain trust is important for leaders. Influencing leaders has to be accountable for all decisions to establish trust with others. Trust needs to be gained through consistent job performance and commitment. And then for the last one is emotional intelligence. It is vital to build better relationships and help to run things smoothly. And leaders with emotional intelligence are able to adjust on behavior and responses towards the others and lead to self-awareness. So hopefully the training session today can be useful to enhance your leadership and influential aspects in order to improve your employability, or in other words, increase the chance of getting a job. So if you have any comments or questions, kindly share with us in the comment box below on this YouTube video. Have a nice day all, and wish you all the best for your future. Thank you.